So, yesterday, on my birthday, I decided to go over and join my man Izzy Band's panel. And while I was over there was one of these brothers that, is the typical Ungawa Black Power. I'm super pro black. How dare you ever critique the Black Queen's Angryman type dude, right? I'm listening to some of his misguided opinions. One of which was, well, Angry Man, I've been watching you for the past couple of years, and all you ever do is get on your channel and talk about black women. That's all you ever do. All you ever do is talk about black women. Black women this, black women that. And I'm like, wow, that's news to me. Because last time I checked, most of my content is political content. Most of my content is politics. I don't really talk about black women that much. Partially because you can't. Most people don't realize this because if you're not a content creator, you won't realize it. But the so-called most unprotected group of women on the planet, if you do content where you're talking about them, critiquing them, that content will get limited ads put on. So it is considered controversial to talk about black women on YouTube. Yeah, the most unprotected group, for some odd reason is protected. I mean, you could talk about black men if you want. You could talk about black men all day long. Nobody cares. You can say the worst things possible about black men. Hell, you could flat out lie about black men, and nobody's gonna bat an eye. Nobody's gonna say a mumbling word. You feel what I'm saying? But he decided to, critique me. And he said something really interesting. I said that you have me mistaken, sir. If I do have a show where I'm critiquing a certain type of woman, because he said, you're on your show saying, saying HOE and BITCH and BINO Nation. How often do y'all hear me say those words? Like, let's just be honest. Like, I get up here and I talk a lot. but I don't think the word bitch or hoe is a large part of my lexicon. I don't recall saying that a lot. I may say it every once in a blue moon. You know, I might, in fact, I probably drop the F bomb more than I say those words. But you know, that's typical. Here's the thing with some black individuals. They like to run with narratives. And one of the narratives, you know, they still have that mentality from the 80s, you know, that Queen Latifah, man, who you calling her, you know, and all the rappers ever do is call the women B's and 304s. And so they just run around assuming that everybody does that. Now, regardless of the fact that I don't really do that, I decided to defend it anyway. And what I said to him was, I'm not going to matter of fact, this is what I said to him. This is what I said to him. I said, if I do say the word bitch, and the only reason I'm spelling it is because I'm trying to cut back on some of the cursing, you know, for some odd reason, you know, some people on YouTube can curse all day long, and you know, they ain't got to worry about that particular video not being monetized. You know, I hear, look, y'all know I'm not a race baiter, but I'm just trying my best to figure out why is it every time I'm watching a white content creator, they saying some of the wildest stuff I've ever heard in my life, and it doesn't seem to affect their channel. I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real. Y'all can call it race baiting if you want to. I really don't care. I'm watching them say some of the wildest stuff I've ever seen in my life. But anyway, I told him that even if I said the word bitch or 304, I said, why is it you and other brothers are assuming I'm talking about all women, specifically all black women, when I use those terms? Is it possible that you think of all women in those terms, and that's the reason why when you hear me say those terms, you make the assumption that I'm talking about all women? Because I know what I'm doing. When I say that, I'm not talking about all women. I'm talking about a bitch. When I say a 304, I'm not talking about all women. I'm talking about a 304. Words are descriptive for a reason, right? Words are descriptive for a reason. So he said to me, well, I'm just saying, why can't we have a general respect for all women? And I said, well, first of all, that's illogical. But I'm not surprised because nowadays everybody has this sort of participation trophy mentality, right? Why would I give the same level of respect to a 304 that I would give to a lady? What would be the point of being a lady? Why would there be any incentive to be a upstanding, classy, woman? What would be the incentive to be a lady if I'm out here treating 304s and BR? You know, I'm out here treating them the way I would treat a respectable woman. What's the point? But see, I know what it is. I know what it is. What it is brothers like that want us to give a blanketed level of respect for all women because they don't want these women who behave badly to be held accountable. It just proves, and here's the funniest thing about this. Whenever you see white content creators critiquing the black community and y'all immediately take it as racism, it isn't racism, it's just them telling the truth. And the reason why it is so easy for non-black content creators to critique the black community and put you under scrutiny is because you say stupid shit like we should give all of the women a blanketed level of respect. It just proves to non-black people that we as black people don't have any standards. That's all it proves. That's all it proves. Logically, if you are treating a degenerate woman the same way you would treat an upstanding woman, it means you have absolutely no standards whatsoever. It means there is no incentive in your community for anyone to be well-rounded, classy, upright, righteous, or any of that. What's the point of me being righteous and dignified if you're going to give the same respect to a gang banging, drug dealing loser? What is the point? What is the point? Right? So when I said that, you know, he kept pushing for the, well, I'm just going to give women respect regardless. And it was like, okay, and that's why the vast majority of the women in our community do not respect the vast majority of the men in our community, because you've done absolutely nothing to make them earn your respect. Why would I respect someone who doesn't even respect themselves? Because when he said, well, you calling these women B's and 304s, and you know, that's disrespectful, you're denigrating them. I looked at the camera and I said, how in the world can I denigrate a group of people who denigrate themselves? Or better yet, let's take it a step further. How can I denigrate a group of people that not only denigrate themselves, but they've embedded their self-denigration into the culture of their community? They promote their own denigration. They're proud of their own denigration. But the moment somebody who does not adhere to that particular cultural BS critiques it, now all of a sudden I'm denigrating you. That's like Trina coming out with a song saying that she's the baddest B, and every other sentence she's referring to herself as a B. And then the moment I say, B, stop acting like that, and she looks at me like, how dare you disrespect me by calling me a B? What? If a non-black content creator says the problem with the black community is they got too many gangbangers, black folk in the black community get offended by that statement, but black folk in the black community also promote being gangbangers. Could you please explain to me how that works? I want somebody to explain to me how that works. How does that work? How do you promote being a gangbanger and then be offended when somebody calls you a gangbanger? How do you promote being a drug dealer and then get offended when somebody calls you a drug dealer? How do you promote all of these different things and then get offended when someone accuses you of being that which you promote within your own culture? And again, what's annoying to me, what's annoying to me is that as a younger man, I bought into the whole hood culture, street culture, you know, real nigga mentality, all of that BS. But I grew up, I matured, and I began to prioritize the things that matter in life. And now, when I do my YouTube shows, I let everybody know that type of lifestyle is nothing to promote. That type of lifestyle is nothing to engage in. You now live in a day and age where you have so much opportunity. You don't have to engage in none of those shenanigans. You don't have to engage in none of that foolishness. You don't have to engage in any of that. Now, what I find interesting is that when I was a street individual, sold it all criminal, weed smoking, liquor drinking, fornicating, F the police mentality. Black folk loved me to death when I was that. Why is it the moment that I decide to not participate in that? Why is it the moment I decide not only to not participate in that, but to speak on it on my live streams in order to let younger black men know you don't have to engage in that type of activity? Why is it the moment I get on that type of time, now all of a sudden I'm a sellout? Now all of a sudden I'm a coon? See, in my humble opinion, none of you can blame the white man for programming you to be self-destructive. Because even if you could make a case for white society programming you to behave the way you behave, you're now living in a day and age where you are willingly choosing to behave like that. Nobody's making you do anything. And if you want to sit back and pretend like someone is making you do that, you're full of it. Nobody's making you do any of that. And I'm gonna tell you something else. You got countless black people that have really truly awakened to the bullshit, and they're speaking out. And you know what's getting old? What's getting real old is every single time somebody black that got some damn sense starts telling other black people the crap they need to cut out. Here you Negroes come yelling about coons and sellouts. It's getting old. It's getting old. Real old. Don't be mad at us because we're not still dancing a jig and tap dancing on the Democrat plantation. Because that's all it is a plantation. And that's all they do is have their little meetings in Congress and get on the news and try to charge you up with some race baiting to make you feel like it's still 1960, so that you could run around here like a damn fool talking about free Palestine, a damn country that don't like blacks or people in the LGBTQ. And I tell you something else they don't like in Palestine. They don't like nothing about women empowerment. So the fact that you are running around here talking about free Palestine is the most hilarious thing in the world. It's the most illogical thing in the world, considering that is a group of people that are extremely racist and homophobic. And the only reason I bring those two things up is because that seems to be what you are championing right now. That seems to be your biggest cause right now. You're fighting against racism and homophobia while simultaneously promoting a culture that is dead set against everything you claim you fighting for. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. It is hilarious how many Americans today have your heads firmly buried in your own behind. It is amazing to me. It's amazing to me. But then you want to get mad at me when I get up here and talk about it and talk about how y'all are cooked. Those of you in the community that still fall for every okie doke, you still fall for all of it. All they got to do is put a black Democrat up there, and all they got to do is get up there and pretend like they down with the hood. All they got to do is get up there and make a couple of references to black culture. It could be a black person that's straight out of private school, straight from an Ivy League college, and all they have to do is have them eat some fried chicken, play some basketball, wear a lace front, snap their fingers and do some shit like this, and then all of a sudden, that's your new Martin Luther King Jr. Now all of a sudden, that's your new Malcolm X. And they sit up there on TV and try to make you feel like you about to be put back in slavery, and that every police that ever pulls you over is out to get you. And talk about your oppression all day long while simultaneously not doing a damn thing to fix any problem you have in your community. What did Joe Biden and Kamala Harris do for you? What did they do? What did they do? But I don't know what I'm talking about, right? I don't know what I'm talking about, right? I tell you what. I tell you what. I want you to think about this. Did you see those black children? Well, they're not children, they're young adults. Did you see those young black adults at Tennessee University screaming at that white kid with the MAGA hat on? How many of y'all saw that? Press 1 if you saw that. Press 1 if y'all saw that. To all of you black students at Tennessee University that was screaming at that one white guy with the MAGA hat on, you should be proud of yourselves. I know that your grandparents are proud of you. They got to be proud of you. They got to be proud of you. Because you look just like racist white folk during the Jim Crow era when they started integration. Remember that little black girl was going to that school and all of them white kids, all of them white students was out there yelling at her, throwing shit at her? That's what you look like. You should be so proud of yourself. You should be so proud of yourself. You have become the bigots you claim to hate. You know what you should do next? You should come up with a derogatory term. You can call them uncolored folks. That's what you should do. Come up with a derogatory term. Say, I don't want these uncolored folks coming to my college. Y'all out there screaming at a young white man with a MAGA hat on. Meanwhile, you got a 16% graduation rate. 16% graduation rate. 16%. 16% graduation rate, and you out there screaming at somebody when your ass should be in your dorm with them cracking them books open. That's where you should be. That's where you should be, because I'm pretty sure your parents didn't pay for you to go to college for you to be a damn activist. I'm pretty sure they paid for you to go to college so you could go there, learn what you need to learn so you can graduate and get a damn job. Not show your behind, get recorded, and then when you go to apply for a job after you graduate, you all over the internet looking like a damn fool and don't nobody want to hire you. But see, I'm the sellout for expressing common sense. I'm the sellout. I'm the sellout for expressing common sense and saying the things that need to be said. You can call me a sellout. You can call me a coon, but I tell you what, I'm not a damn fool. That's one thing I'm not. That's one thing I'm not. Big Braille said most college universities has a low graduation rate. Oh, really? No, let me ask you a question. Do you think that's the way it's supposed to be? Better yet, let me ask you a question. Aren't colleges the place where folks claim they intelligent? Don't people walk around bragging about the fact that they in college or that they went to college? Yes or no? So if most colleges have low graduation rates, then why are we giving people props for going to college? What you going for? What you going for? You don't gotta go to college to be a waste of space. You don't gotta go to college to be a degenerate. You don't gotta waste your parents' money to be a loser. You can be a loser all day long. Leave your parents' money out of it. See, here's the thing, right? I know the reason. I know the reason why you black folk can't stand the angry man. I know the reason why you call me a coon and you call me a seller. I know the reason why. It's because I am calling you out on your raggedy behavior that you know is raggedy behavior. And it burns you up because you believe that there's supposed to be some unwritten code amongst black people that we all operate in cognitive dissonance and act like we're the best of the best when we're really the worst of the worst. See, you not mad at me because you think I'm up here telling a lie. You know I ain't lying. You're only mad because I'm saying it. You believe that black people are supposed to uphold each other in our bullshit. You believe that black men are supposed to pretend that a hoe ain't a hoe when they be in a hoe. You want black men to pretend that a gangbanger isn't a degenerate, raggedy Negro. You want us to pretend that he's only a gangbanger because the white man kept him down and he couldn't get a job. Only reason he's selling drugs is because he's in the wilderness of North America and the systemic racism wouldn't allow him to have an opportunity. See, you don't like any black people that do not get on social media and spread the propaganda that we've created for our culture to hide our inconsistencies and our failings. Am I wrong? You tell me which part I said that was a lie. You want to know something? BINO Nation. Every time you have seen me go on a panel and I go back and forth about black folk, the issues that black people have, the single mother rate, the black men that ain't doing what they supposed to do, baby mamaism, all of this. Out of everything I've said, you've seen numerous people challenge me. Have you ever heard anyone say, Angryman, now you know that's a lie? I'll wait. Have you heard any one of these Negroes say to me, Angryman, you know that's a lie? Shiloh Taylor said, what's this channel about? Somebody do me a favor, kick Shiloh Taylor out of my chat room. Kick Shiloh Taylor out of my chat room. Go ask your question somewhere else. I think Bill Nye, the science guy, has a channel. Go over there and ask him questions. Don't ask me no questions. Don't ask me no questions. I ain't in a question answering mood. Stop trying to deflect away from what I'm talking about. You want to talk about something? Talk about what I'm talking about right now. They can't address what I'm talking about, bro. They can't face it. It's like putting a mirror up in front of a damn vampire. They cannot face it. It's like Dorian Gray's portrait up in the damn attic. They don't want to look at it because they do not want to acknowledge their true self. And this is the reason why they can't fix it. This is the reason why they can't fix it. For those of us black folk that were able to fix it, it's because we took a long, hard look in the mirror. And guess what? At no point during that assessment did we blame white folk for what we had going on. Now, are there things in this country that white people can be blamed for? Absolutely. Absolutely. But what they got going on ain't got a damn thing to do with your personal accountability. Nothing. Because regardless of whatever they doing, whatever you decide to do was still a choice. Whatever you decided to do was still a choice. You actively made that choice, and you could have chose not to make that choice. Like, for instance, you got black people that saying, well, there wasn't no opportunity, and that's why we sold drugs. Well, be that as it may, you could be completely telling the truth about the lack of opportunity. But guess what? Even if there was a lack of opportunity, that didn't make you sell drugs. That's what you chose to do as an easy way out of the circumstance of having a lack of opportunity. So it still was your choice. Because guess what? There were a lot of people that didn't choose that. There were a lot of people that said, yeah, shit is hard. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's obstacles in my way, but I'm going to figure out a way without having to do that. But see, what has made the black community worse than it ever was before is you embrace all of the excuses. You embrace all the excuses. You embrace all the excuses. And why is that? Because you know it works. You've sat back and you've watched how there are countless non-black people that feel guilty about the plight of black people in this country. So due to that, you have weaponized your excuses to explain away why you have fallen so low. And now you want to scream racism is making a comeback because non-black people have gotten sick and tired of your bullshit ass excuses. They figured out that you're taking advantage of them feeling bad for you because of the history of this country. And they're asking themselves, how the hell are you oppressed from a college campus? How the hell are you oppressed driving around in a Mercedes Benz? How the hell are you oppressed walking around with $1,000 phone? How the hell are you oppressed walking around in Balenciaga sneakers, wearing Gucci and Givenchy shirts? How are you oppressed when you literally got ratchet ass Congress women with lace fronts sitting on the floor of Congress calling white women bad built butch body ladies? How are you oppressed when you literally have a black organization that was burning down cities and you had Congress people bailing them out of jail, saying that they didn't do anything wrong? How are you oppressed? All of that sounds like privilege to me. That's what that sounds like to me. All of that sounds like privilege. And see, the funniest thing about it is instead of looking around at all of the privilege, all of the opportunity that has been afforded to you because of the sacrifices that was made during the civil rights era, you would rather run around here cosplaying a civil rights activist when it's safe. Because guess what? The only reason most of you Negroes are running around here screaming and protesting and acting a fool is because they ain't blasting you with fire hoses. They ain't sicking German shepherds on you. They ain't busting you upside the head with a billy club. You cosplaying a civil rights activist. And you're only comfortable doing it because it's safe. Because whenever white guys show up in red MAGA hats to have a conversation, oh, you the baddest people on planet Earth. You gangster as hell. Then my question is, why wasn't you gangster when they showed up in white sheets? I'm gonna say that again because you didn't hear it. I'm gonna say it again. Whenever moderate, calm, tempered white guys like Charlie Kirk show up in a MAGA hat to have a conversation with you, you Billy Badass. But when folks showed up in white sheets, you was running. You can fool most of the people most of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. And you can't fool me. And you can call me a sellout, you can call me a coon, you can blame it on my light skin. I really don't care. I really don't care. Because I ain't spitting nothing but straight up facts. I ain't doing nothing but telling the damn truth. And guess what? When you speak the truth, you got God on your side. And if God is with me, who the hell can stand against me? So you can get mad all you like. I really don't give a damn. I really don't give a damn. You claim to love your people so much. Well, let me ask this question. Since you claim to love your people so much, when Ben Shapiro showed up on the Breakfast Club, right? Charlemagne the God, Jess Hilarious, and whatever the other girl's name is, and DJ Envy, you know, the Negroes that represent the Democrat side, the left side, the Negroes that claim white supremacy is such a problem, the Negroes that claim that systemic racism is the problem. Explain to me why when Ben Shapiro sat up there having a conversation with them, they were respectful. They allowed him to speak. They didn't interrupt him. They didn't do any of that. They behaved the way you should behave. So don't get it twisted. I don't have a problem that they respected Ben Shapiro. That's what you're supposed to do when you have a guest. But my question is, why is it when Dame Dash show up, a champion for the culture? Don't get it twisted. Dame Dash has always been a champion for the culture. You have absolutely no idea how many black people got jobs and opportunities because of Dame Dash. Why is it when Dame Dash showed up there, you're calling him broke, you're interrupting him, you're being disrespectful, you're talking over top of him, you're telling him he's a liar. But then you Negroes come over here and tell me that I'm I'm denigrating somebody. How the hell can I denigrate a group of people that denigrate themselves and each other? How am I how? I said this so many times, and I'm gonna say it again. This is just like the opening scene of Straight Outta Compton, when the chick kept asking Eazy-E, did he want something to drink, and he said, "B, I told you I'm not thirsty." And dude stood up and said, "Eric, what I told you about disrespecting my house." And Eric said, "Disrespecting your house? You mean this dope house you already disrespecting? How the hell you gonna ask a man to show you respect in a house you sell drugs out of?" How is a culture gonna demand respect of anybody when you don't even respect your own culture? You don't even respect each other. I don't care what situation Dame Dash is in. Out of all the work he put in, out of everything he did, that's all it takes is for the man to fall off, for you to treat him like shit. Now, I could be wrong, and I may not know the ins and outs of cultures, but I'm pretty sure that if you are a person in the culture that was a freaking mogul and an icon and put countless black people to work and has always spoke for black people and always championed the cause, when you fall off, I would think that's when the rest of the people are supposed to lift you up, not kick you while you down. And all I see is black folk all over social media kicking him while he down. All I see is black folk all over social media making fun of him because he's allegedly broke. Y'all niggas ain't shit. And then you got the nerve to come over here and call me a sellout or a coon, like your opinion really matters to me. Why would you think your opinion matters to me? You have no honor. You have no decency. You ain't even got the damn sense you was born with. But you want to come over here and talk to me like you're some kind of authority figure? Don't nobody listen to y'all. Don't nobody listen to y'all. Don't nobody respect y'all. You're a joke. You're a joke. And every time I come up here and try to tell you what you need to do so you can stop being a joke, you show up, you be insulting, and you just prove further that you're the joke that I thought you was. And I tell you something else too. Any one of you dudes that don't like what I'm saying, any of you Ungawa, Black Power, Hotep Negroes that don't like what I'm saying, I guarantee you won't be able to tangle with me in no debate. Because there's too much evidence of your hypocrisy. There's too much evidence of your BS. You want to come over here and say, oh, Angryman, every time I get on a panel, Angryman, you talking about black women. How dare you? What? Did you really just come over here and try to check me about a group of women that's literally committing a genocide on your own people? Did you really just do that? Did you really try to correct me about a group of people that go down to Planned Parenthood like you go to McDonald's? Did you really just do that? When it comes to your culture, Planned Parenthood should put a sign up just like McDonald's that says over 80 million served. But I ain't supposed to be offended by that, right? I ain't supposed to be offended by that. Maybe that's the reason why. Maybe that's the reason why the culture sucks right now. Maybe that's the reason why we no longer have R&B. Maybe that's the reason why rap is terrible now. Maybe that's the reason why we don't have any more John Singletons and new directors coming out. Maybe that's the reason. Because maybe amongst that multitude of babies that got deleted, maybe there was another Prince in there. Maybe there was another Michael Jackson in there. Maybe there was another Malcolm X in there. Maybe there was another Huey P. Newton in there. Maybe there was another James Baldwin in there. Maybe there was another Booker T. Washington in there. Maybe there was another Reverend Clayton Powell in there. Maybe there was another everything in that group. But just like how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know. You ain't upset about that, but you upset about me critiquing us. I don't know why y'all mess with me. Look, I don't know how many ways I got to say this, nigga. I do this. There ain't nothing you can say on no channel that you got that's going to resonate harder than what I'm saying right now. I've told y'all numerous times, right? When I was a young man in my early 20s, I joined the Nation of Islam. That's right. I was a bow tie wearing brother that was down with the cause of uplifting our people. And I stopped. I quit. And every time it has come up on a panel, people always ask me, why did you stop? Why did you stop being a member of the nation? Why did you stop? And I always say, well, I'm not going to speak on it because I don't want to disrespect that organization. But I'm going to tell you why right now, today, for the first time. I'm going to tell you why. Because while I was in there, I witnessed something. And it wasn't nothing big. It wasn't nothing horrible. But I witnessed something that let me know that black folk don't care about other black folk. Point blank, period. There's something in us that is broken. And I don't think it's ever going to be fixed. Because in order to fix something, it requires analysis. It requires telling the truth. And Negroes don't want to tell the truth. They don't want to look in the mirror. Here I am going into this situation and I'm all in and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna help my people and we can rise up and this, that, and the third. And then I see Negroes doing the same thing. I see Negroes in the organization doing the same thing to each other that they do when they're not in the organization. And I said, I can't do it. I can't do it. Can't do it. Said I can't do it. Yo, shout out to Raw G. Raw G said, happy belated birthday from me and Cell. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate the love. See, there ain't nothing. There ain't nothing. I felt like, I'm going to tell you what I felt like. You remember on Captain America, the Winter Soldier? You remember when he was meeting with Nick Fury and Nick Fury was showing him all of those ships and basically said those ships would be orbiting, them ships would be up in the air, and if anybody does anything, they'll be able to neutralize it immediately. And Cap told him, he said, that's not freedom. That's not America. Like, that's holding a gun to everybody's head to make sure that they don't do this or they don't do that. And Cap couldn't be a part of it. It's like, nah, I'm not trying to be a part of this. Like, once I got in there and I saw the politics, because every organization got politics. I saw the politics. I said, you know what? I didn't raise no hell. I didn't talk no shit. I just faded away. I just faded away. But when I look at our people as a group, y'all broke my heart a long time ago. A long time ago. A very long time ago. And I kept quiet about it for a while. I kept quiet about it for a while. But I'm not going to continue to be quiet about it. I'm not. I'm not. You can get mad at me. You can talk as much trash as you want to talk. I don't care. Don't make me no difference. It ain't no worse than what you already do. Shit, I don't got to get up here and critique black folk for y'all to talk crazy about me. All I got to do is be successful. That's all I got to do. I don't gotta get up here and call out black women's bad behavior, black men's bad behavior, the cultural problems in the black community in order for you to be upset with me. I don't even gotta do that. I don't even gotta do that. All I gotta do is be successful. And you're gonna talk crazy about me. All I gotta do is drive a nice car, live in a nice house, live in a nice neighborhood. And you're gonna talk crazy about me. That's all I gotta do. That's all I gotta do to gain your ire. That's all I gotta do. Because you only love the struggle and you only love people that's in the struggle. Because the moment that a black person stops struggling, they cease to be black in your eyes. The moment a black person is no longer struggling, they cease to be black in your eyes. And you're already looking at me like I'm not black because of my skin tone, and some of my European features. You're already looking at me like I'm not black. Like, oh, what is he? Is he Latin? Is he biracial? Is he this? You want to know what I am? I'm tired. I'm tired, boss. That's what I am. Tired of you Negroes. That's what I'm tired of. I'm tired of you niggas. I'm tired of you. And I saw somebody in here earlier said something about Officer Tatum. Don't talk no shit about Officer Tatum. Officer Tatum is a good dude. Don't come in here talking crazy about Officer Tatum. He's a good dude. Don't come in here talking crazy about Anton Daniels. He's a good dude. I ain't never had a one-on-one conversation with Officer Tatum. He came through to my channel one day, dropped 100, showed love. That's more than I can say for some of you other Negroes. There's certain black people on YouTube. They don't fall for the okie doke. They don't fall for the BS. They call it out for what it is. Anton Daniels calls it out for what it is. Officer Tatum calls it out for what it is. The real A-Dog calls it out for what it is. Coach Greg Adams calls it out for what it is. Young Ripper calls it out for what it is. Anthony Brian Logan calls it out for what it is. I literally came up around people with a certain mentality. There was this one chick. All she ever dated was drug dealers. And I know her because I went to school with her. One day she said to me, she said, "You ain't no real nigga. You ain't even got a felony." I said, "What? You ain't no real nigga. You ain't even got a felony." In that moment, I had a realization, like a beam of light hit me. You know how a cartoon has a light bulb pop up over their head? The moment she said it, aside from being shocked, I immediately thought to myself, I don't belong here. I don't belong here, and I don't belong around ignorant ass niggas like you. See, the reality that black people don't want to face is that we're not all the same. Some of us are better than others. You know how black folk run around talking about something, you ain't no better than me. Let me tell you something. If you've ever said to someone, you ain't no better than me, 9 times out of 10, it probably means they were better than you. And I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that right now, as I speak, that chick is somewhere living in a damn trap house with a bunch of kids that got kids and ain't none of them hitting on 2 damn cents. I have no doubt in my mind about it. By the way, if you're just coming in here, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the Cash App and hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. And make sure you support the shoe. You feel me? Hit the Cash App. $ fuel the anger. $ the angry man. Anybody that drops 100 or more will be a sponsor of the show. Anybody that drops 500 or more will be a super sponsor of the show. Shout out to my man Egg. Appreciate you. Shout out to D-Rock Den. He said Cook Session AMG. Shout out to Student of Paradise for gifting a membership. Shout out to my man Egg. He said happy birthday, man. To many more. Appreciate you, broski. Shout out to Tavar. He said love, bro, but we gonna get better. I hope so. I ain't banking on it, but I hope so. Let's see. Let me get these others real quick, you guys. Ooh, we got a lot of them too. Hold on 1 second, you guys. We gotta knock some of these down. Shout out to Chill Let Go. He said, I made it from Cali to Virginia already, enjoying lower gas, food prices, rent prices, you name it. Hope I run into you someday so I can shake your hand. God bless. Appreciate you, fam. Shout out to Angry Snowman. He said, you can talk about anyone you want on any platform except BW, the Rainbow Mafia, and the hats. Yep. Shout out to Agent 007. Said, we don't really have a culture per se. All we truly have is bits and pieces of self-expression with some music over here and some athletics over there. We never took time to build a culture. I actually disagree. We actually did have a culture, but we destroyed it. Shout out to Grumpy Knuckles. Said, words are hard for ignorance. They would, the difference between descriptive or prescriptive, or they need to bifurcate them as nuanced. Objective reality is a concept stripped from the culture, AM. Shout out to Grumpy Knuckles again. He said the scripts say that their love would turn cold. It's happening in real time. If you have eyes to see, it's obvious. Repent or get caught up in the BS. Shout out to Agent 007. He said our people tend to forget that it was the Democrats who dismantled the Freeman's Bureau and canceled 40 acres and a mule. Facts. Shout out to Cashmere Black. He said Roland Martin and Willie D said those dudes who showed up to Tennessee University with MAGA hats are a hate group. Yeah, because Roland Martin and Willie D are both idiots. Shout out to Time to Annie Up. He says salute to AM in the chat. Appreciate you. Shout out to my man Grinch. He said facts. Ninjas have more opinions than brain cells. That's why I ignore the majority and stick to myself. I ain't helping these cowardly coloreds ever again. Shout out to Jonathan. He said even Malcolm X warned blacks about Democrats, and so many blacks are totally unaware of that. Shout out to Lost on Purpose, said I was pro-black for 2 years before I realized I needed to stop. Shout out to Yoshi K, says speaking truth and opposing evil in modern culture is a very lonely walk. Salute and stay strong, big homie. Appreciate you. Shout out to Max Jr. Praise that said, don't ever stop telling the truth in spite of the pushback. Someone is getting it, even some of the naysayers in their heart of hearts, they know. Appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Catfish Tales for gifting a membership. Shout out to Tootie Bug for gifting a membership. Appreciate y'all. Let's see if we got any cash apps. Appreciate all the support, y'all. Let's see. Shout out to Moses. He said for the BINO. Said for the BINOs. Appreciate you. Shout out to my man Aaron. Aaron said had to click off Izzy after 30 minutes of his mealy mouth effeminate excuses. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. He was like a 5-year-old girl who lost at hide and seek. Yeah. And he's talking about the guy that I was going back and forth with. Appreciate you though, bro. Real talk. Let's see. And let's see. Shout out to Anwar. He says, shout out to the BINO Nation for the inspiration. Appreciate you. Shout out to Dark Power. Shout out to Quentin. Quentin said, happy belated birthday, AM. Appreciate you. Shout out to Regina. Regina said, happy belated B-Day. Appreciate you, Regina. Shout out to IMP. Says, salute to the light-skinned God, AM. Yeah, these niggas cooked. Shout out to Miss Felicia. Miss Felicia said, thank you for the work. Appreciate you. Shout out to my man, Great Capital. He said Sunday morning sermon. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the birthday wishes. Y'all already know what it is. So, getting back to what I was saying. I don't know why you individuals think you're going to come. Why is my screen looking like that? I don't like that. Let me fix that. Visual effects. Let me fix that. Let's take that off. Let's do that. There we go. I don't know why y'all individuals think that you're going to do your little videos talking about me. How does that fix the culture? How does that fix the culture? Because what I noticed, and I said this before on the other show, right? What I noticed is that all of the black people that y'all call sellouts tend to be the smartest black people. And all of the black people that continue to uphold the BS and engage in the BS, y'all seem to be less intelligent. So how do you plan on fixing the culture when the less intelligent of the culture don't want to listen to the more intelligent of the culture? How is that supposed to work? How is that supposed to work? Because I got news for you. You can talk as much trash as you want to talk about me, but let me ask this question. Let me ask this question real quick. to all of the individuals that talk about me, right? If I really didn't know what I was talking about and was really worthy of being hated on the way you hate on me, and you're the ones with the right answers. So for all of you individuals that's on this Ungawa Black Power, all of this goofy stuff that claim you know what's right and that claim you're what the culture's feeling and all of this goofy stuff, why you ain't got 1 million subscribers? Where is your following? Where is your following? Where's your following? Because look, I'm 1 million strong. And I know some of you gonna be like, you ain't 1 million strong, angry man. You ain't got nothing but 810,000 subscribers. Or is it 814? I can't remember. Is it 810 or is it 814? I can't remember. 814? Appreciate that. You ain't got 1 million, angry man. You got 814, right? Yeah, I got 814 on this channel. I got another 20 some on my other channel. Was like 22 on the other channel. So what is that? What is that? That's 836. 836, right? 836. But then I got another 428 on Instagram. So I got another 428 on Instagram. I got another 147. I got another 147 on Facebook. I got another 30K on what is this app? What is this shit? I don't even know the name of this app. What is this app? Threads, whatever that app is. I got another 30K. I mean, I'm already over 1 million collectively. I'm already over 1 million collectively. So my question is, if I don't know what I'm talking about and I'm full of shit, then why do I have a following? Why do I have a following? And for some of you that's gonna say, "Oh, you ain't the only one that got a following," how many people, how many black men on YouTube that you know of that talk about what I talk about solo by myself with this type of following? What black man on YouTube do you know of that get in front of the camera by myself? I don't bring no women on. I don't converse with no women. I don't have no women calling into the show. I don't got a panel full of people. I'm not talking about sports. I'm not talking about anime. I'm not talking about movies. I'm talking about this topic. Shout out to Chad. He said trash talkers in the chat should pay up so they can be highlighted. That's called pay, put your money where your mouth is. Keep it up, AM. Appreciate you, bro. Big D the GOAT said, how many nonprofits you got? None. I have absolutely no nonprofits. Why you ask me that? Why you ask me that? I don't have any nonprofits. Why are you asking me that? Nonprofits are a hustle. There, I said it. And I'm pretty sure some people are going to get upset about that, but I'll be the one to say it. Nonprofits are a hustle. Rich people create nonprofits to get a tax break. Nonprofits are a hustle. So coming in here asking me, where's your nonprofit? I don't have one. I don't have one. But I know that people create nonprofits in order to get tax breaks. Now, look, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that's what it is. When are y'all gonna realize? Here's the one thing you got to realize about me, right? The one thing you got to realize about me, I'm a realist. I am a old school Gen X male that thinks and operates like a man from the greatest generation. I am based in reality. I don't sugarcoat shit. I don't pretend. I don't do none of that goofy shit that all of these new age males do. I don't sit on panels with my leg crossed with women sitting across from me trying to virtue signal and prove that I'm some kind of new age version of masculinity, talking about, well, the problem is there's so many unhealed men out here that, they're not ready for a relationship because until they heal and get themselves in the right space, they're not going to be prepared for a woman that's already healed. I'm not one of these suckers, because that's what they are. And that's why none of the shit they say helps the society at all when it comes to relationships, because all of them are full of shit. All of them are full of shit. You want to know how to make a relationship work? It's simple. It's simple as ABC 1, 2, 3. One, you have to have a man that stands 10 toes down on what he believes in, who is a breadwinner, who has no problem paying bills, holding down the household, being a man of his damn word. And he has to be in a relationship with a woman who respects him, has no problem submitting to him, and both of them know how to operate like adults, mature adults. That's it. It ain't got nothing to do with being healed, unhealed, emotionally. It don't got nothing to do with none of that other fluff, none of that other bullshit. The reason why your girlfriend broke up with you is not because you're unhealed. It's because the lights got cut out too many damn times. The reason why she mad at you isn't because you don't have emotional intelligence. She's mad at you because she's tired of struggling. And the reason why you women can't keep men is because you don't know how to cook, you don't know how to clean, and you don't know when to shut the hell up. And you think you deserve the damn world, but you ain't willing to earn nothing. For the men, you be surprised how peaceful your household will be when you actually pay some bills. For the women, you be surprised how much your man will go hard in the paint to pay those bills if you fixed him a sandwich, gave him sex when he wanted, and actually shut up when he asked you to stop talking. Shout out to the real gospel chops. What's going on, brother? He said everyone should seek tax breaks. The trust owns the nonprofit. The nonprofit owns the assets. You own nothing but control everything. That's 100% facts, brother. 100% facts. You got all of these Negroes up here on YouTube, and all they do is sit around virtue signaling. That's all they do. Saying whatever comes to their mind that they think is going to get them the validation of the women they talking to. And what I'm trying to figure out is, why are you going so hard in the paint, brother, to get the validation from a woman who got kids out of wedlock? Why are you going so hard in the paint for validation from a woman who will flat out talk like, oh, the only way I can be with a man is if he buys this and buys that and does this and does that? How you respecting women that literally want their men to be tricks? Because guess what? To all the ladies out here, if you view your man as a trick, what does that make you? If you running around here bragging about how your man is tricking off on you, what does that make you? If he a trick, what are you? And I know what most of you gonna say. Well, Angry Man, you just said pay the bills. Bruh, there's a tremendous difference between you being married to a woman and paying your bills and holding your household down, as opposed to you having a girlfriend that you take on shopping sprees and buy all kinds of shit for. Those are two drastically different worlds. You got Negroes that say, well, you're going to pay for a woman regardless. This is how stupid men are today. You're going to pay for a woman regardless. Well, Angry Man, if you married and you bought your wife this and you bought your wife that, that means you paid for her. How the hell is that? When everything my wife owned, I also own. Tell you another reason why y'all be having problems. The other reason why y'all be having problems, every single time I have a conversation with dudes about marriage and shit, relationships and shit, you know what they always reference? Celebrities. It don't matter how much money you got. Look at how Jada treat Will. Dr. Dre's wife still left him. Tom Brady's wife left him. Jeff Bezos' wife left him. Bro, if you're basing your normal relationship on the relationship of celebrities, you already lost in the damn sauce. You already lost in the damn sauce. Some of them relationships ain't even really relationships. Some of them relationships is for show. You don't even realize that. Some of them dudes in the entertainment industry is down low brothers, and they only in a relationship with a woman to create the appearance that they're straight men. You basing your relationship off of that? That's your damn problem. That's your damn problem. Like when dudes come over here and they be like, "Oh, angry man, well, you was lucky. You found a woman that nigga, I'm not lucky. Nigga, I'm not lucky. Luck ain't got shit to do with it. It ain't got nothing to do with it. I pursued the type of woman I wanted, got the type of woman I wanted, and then put in the work in the relationship to have the type of relationship I wanted. It ain't got shit to do with luck. The reason why I have a good marriage, the reason why I have a good situation is because I know what the fuck I'm doing. That's another thing y'all have a problem with. You think that people are where they're at by happenstance. People ain't where they at by happenstance. I'm where I'm at because this is where the fuck I wanted to be. I put one foot in front of the other on that journey until I reached the damn destination that I wanted. Like y'all think Angry Man just be up here. You think I just be up here running my mouth, right? Y'all think I'm just talking. Do you really think that the Angry Man standard was not a well thought out thing? Do you think the Angry Man standard was not a well thought out concept? Let me tell you something. Before this marriage, I have failed relationships. And when I sit back and I examine those relationships, right? There's one thing I know for certain. There's two things I know for certain. Two things I know for certain. One, you cannot have a successful relationship if you as a man are not a breadwinner. Period. Period. Is it possible to have a relationship where you and that woman are splitting the bills, doing 50-50? Absolutely. But the one thing I know about women, the moment they start having to help you maintain the household, as far as the bills, is the moment they start resenting you and the moment they start having an attitude. It may not come out at first, but it's brewing. And sooner or later, it's going to be an issue. Now, the other thing that I know from my failed relationships, if you are not that woman's first choice and that woman does not respect you, that relationship ain't going to work. You might be able to stay in that relationship for years, but it's going to fail. It's going to fail. Shout out to Black Folks Entertainment, said, feed them truth. They try to discredit you. Feed them BS. They love you. Facts. Nigga say, Angry Man, you pay all of the bills because you a simp. No, I pay all of the bills because I'm a man. I pay all of the bills because I'm a man. I pay all the bills because I want to be the king of my castle. And I pay all the bills because I want peace in my house. And the fastest way to lose peace in your house is let a woman pay a bill. The fastest way to lose peace in your house, let a woman pay a bill in your house. See, these niggas today ain't gonna tell you this shit. They're gonna sugarcoat it for you. They're gonna sugarcoat it for you. They're gonna make you think that you can exist in this new age shit that has marriage rates lower than they've ever been, that has relationships failing left and right. Let a woman pay a bill in your house and see how long you have peace in that damn house. I pay all the bills because I don't want to hear nothing about no lights being on. I don't want to hear nothing about the refrigerator being open for too long. Because one thing I know about the bills, look, the bills get paid and they get paid when I pay them. But guess what? I ain't walking around the house making nobody stressed out because of the bills. A woman could have a light bill and not have enough money to pay that light bill on the due date and will start panicking because she can't pay that bill on the due date. And because she's panicking, because she think it got to be paid on the due date, she running around the house stressing everybody out in the damn house. If I didn't have the money to pay a light bill on the damn due date, shit, they'll get that money when they'll get it when I get it. I ain't stressing about that shit. And I ain't gonna stress nobody else about that shit. Now, of course, in this day and age, I don't have that problem. But when I did, I ain't running around making everybody stress the fuck out because a light bill is due. If you stressed out every single time some company had its hand out waiting for your damn money, you're gonna always be stressed because this is America. And if you're making any damn money, somebody gonna have their hand out for it. See, this is the type of grown man conversation that these new age snowflake ass men can't have. And they can't have these conversations because they talk like women. They talk like women. They think like women. They function like women. Shout out to Cool Eric. He said black people need to get off the corporate America tells what you should think machine. Jordans are not important to life. Jewelry is not important to life. All a car needs to do is have wheels to the wheels turn. Hellcats aren't important. But see, nowadays, I try to tell these young dudes this shit, and they don't listen. They think I don't know what I'm talking about. They think I don't know what I'm talking about. See, here's a painful truth that nobody's ever going to tell you. Every woman wants to be kept. I'm going to say that shit again. Every woman wants to be kept. Now, some of y'all going to say, well, that's not true. There's plenty of independent women out here that work for themselves and they don't want no man taking care of them. Yeah, you know why they say that? Because they don't expect you to. They've gotten to the point where they don't expect a man to take care of them. So they have to put on this false bravado as if they like living that type of lifestyle. But let me tell you something. If a dude rolled up on them tomorrow that was a multimillionaire and said, I just want to take care of you. You ain't got to work. You ain't got to, you know what she'll do? She'll get with him and she'll work for a little while. Because she don't want her other friends that's playing that same independent game to look down on her. I'm still a working woman. But wait till she start living that millionaire lifestyle. I guarantee you she's going to be like, I don't think I want to work no more. And in fact, she'll go to the man and be like, I'm thinking about quitting my job. What do you think? And that's literally her asking his permission to quit. That's her asking him, is it okay? Is it okay if I stop doing this? If I stop doing this, am I going to have to worry? Are you telling me that you're going to make sure I'm straight? Are you telling me that you're going to take care of me? That's really what they asking. In the moment the dude look at her and say, man, I got plenty of money. Fuck that job. You know what she going to do? She going to quit. She going to quit. She going to tell them people at that job to go to hell. Shout out to Ari. Ari said, happy belated birthday, AM. I caught up on your live stream that day. Blessings. Appreciate you. Nixon said, over the years, Corey Holcomb has accused many black men of being homosexuals. Angryman, do you believe that Corey Holcomb himself is a... No, I don't. I absolutely do not. I absolutely do not. Corey Holcomb is not on... See, here's the thing about Corey Holcomb. Corey Holcomb gets a bad rap because women in our culture today, they're not used to men being men. Corey Holcomb is a dude. He's a guy. He's a guy. Now, if you were to ask me what dudes seem like they on the DL, Corey Holcomb ain't one of them. Corey Holcomb is a guy. You sit there and listen to the way he talk. He a dude. He a dude. He's just not, he's not sanitized. He's not one of these men that's begging for validation from women. He's not one of these men that's running around here trying to portray himself to be some sort of new age version of masculinity. No, he's displaying actual masculinity, whether you like it or not. Let me tell you something right now. This is how you know if a dude is displaying masculinity, right? If the progressive women of today, the modern women of today don't like you, you're probably a masculine man. Shout out to GTV Reno. I think that's how you pronounce that. Said KS interviews, they always said, I don't want to have to work and pay significant bills after a baby or marriage. Of course not. These women, bro, here's the thing. Look, let me explain something to y'all about women. The one thing you need to understand about women. As a man, never take a great deal of stock in what women say. You can listen to what they say, but don't take that shit with a grain of salt. Okay? Take it with a grain of salt. There's a reason. Look, you can listen to what women say, but don't take what they say seriously. Look at what they do. Look at how they behave. Okay? Because that's the truth of them. That's the truth of them. Look at how they behave. That tells you everything you need to know about. Bro, there's a reason why a woman will ask you, what do you want to eat tonight? And when you say, I don't know, she gets annoyed. The reason why she gets annoyed is because women do not want to admit this, but women want you to make the decisions for them. They just want you to do it in a way where it appears that they had input into the decision. That's why you can't take everything they say seriously. Look, here's the thing, and this is going to sound misogynistic, because in this day and age, everybody wants to, everything that a man is, a real man is viewed as bad, right? A good man knows what his woman wants, even if she don't. Now, why is that statement problematic in this day and age? It's problematic because it goes against the concept of feminism. But a good man knows what his woman wants, even if she doesn't. And let me tell you this. Let me tell you this right now. There is nothing in this world. Well, let me not say nothing. One of the things that turns women on more than anything in this world is you being a damn mind reader. In other words, when you the type of man that know what your woman want before she even say anything about it, that is a major turn on for women. I'm not saying you're going to always be able to do it, but part of the process of dating a woman and getting to know a woman is learning that woman, understanding what her needs are and meeting those needs. Now, if she's a good woman, she gonna do the same thing. But for them, it's a lot easier. For them, it's a lot easier, and we're more forgiving when the woman doesn't know. So for a woman learning her man, it's not difficult for her to know what he wants. All she got to do, it's not difficult for women because women pay attention to patterns. Women will sit back and watch you and pay attention to your patterns. That's the reason why a lot of you niggas get caught cheating. Because when you start cheating, you break your routine, you break your pattern. And the moment that you break your pattern, that's when she sees that shit. They call it women's intuition, but that's when she sees the shit that you're doing and she's like, oh, that's out of the ordinary. Must be something going on. And see, that's the reason why Black relationships are struggling nowadays. Black relationships are struggling nowadays because the Black men have figured out what the women want, but what the women want, let me rephrase that. The reason why relationships are struggling today is because Black men are basing what the women want off of what they say and not what they do. So Black men today cannot meet the actual needs of Black women because they think they're supposed to give Black women the shit that they keep saying and not giving them the shit that they really need that they don't talk about. The women don't care to learn what their men like and want. So you got Black men trying to meet the expectation of the Black woman instead of meeting the actual need of the Black woman. And then you got Black women not even caring to know what the Black man needs. And that's the reason why relationships in the Black community don't work anymore. A Black woman doesn't know how to cook her Black man a steak because she don't even want to cook him a steak, much less learn how to cook it the way he like it. How long was Gina in a relationship with Martin before she attempted to learn how to make his mama's biscuits? You see my point? And what was Martin doing? Gina been in this relationship with him this whole time and never even attempted to ask his mama, how do you make them biscuits that Martin loves so much? So she's not even trying to figure out, even though she knows he likes that, she ain't even trying to figure out how to do that. When it came time for Martin to propose to Gina, he told her the reason why he didn't propose to her is because he wanted to give her a big house and he wanted to give her all of this stuff. And what did Gina say? I don't need all of that stuff. So that was Martin trying to give her all of the things that he thinks Black women want instead of giving her what she really wanted was just commitment. That's Black relationships today. That's black relationships today. And see, here's the funny thing. The funny thing is when it comes to black relationships, you can't even get to that. That conversation is so far on the back burner, it's ridiculous. Because how do you ever get to that conversation when black people don't even, they're not even in the position to be dating in the first place? They're not even in the position to get in relationships in the first place. You got women running around here, they want to be city girls. You got men running around here. The world has made them feel so unappreciated that they don't even want to take the chance of putting themselves in a position to be called a failure. So you can't even have you can't even get to those conversations. You can't even get to those conversations. And this world has pedestalized a certain type of woman. This world has pedestalized a certain type of woman to a degree that they've ruined that type of woman for everybody. And I'm talking about black women. If you see a black woman that is blessed genetically, because usually the way it works with women, women usually be bottom heavy or top heavy. In other words, sometimes a woman will have a nice pair of breasts, but then she got a flat booty and no hips. Or the woman got small breasts and she got big hips and a big booty. But every once in a while, and then even in those combinations, you don't always have a woman with a pretty face, right? Sometimes you have a woman with a pretty face, but she has no body, right? Every once in a while, there will come a woman that has the Coke bottle shape. She got the big breasts, she got the tiny waist, she got the big booty, and she got a pretty face. And you can't even pursue that type of woman because that type of woman is definitely going to cheat on you. It's not even up for debate. It's not even up for debate. It's not even debatable. She's gonna cheat on you. And the reason why is because we have pedestalized that type of woman. That type of woman walks outside, 300 dudes is gonna holler at her before the day is over. And that's too much temptation. That's too much temptation. A woman like that is like a man that's worth $100 million. And any man that's worth $100 million, he as much as many draws is getting thrown at him, eventually he's gonna catch a pair of them draws. In fact, let me see if I can find a photo so I can show you what I'm talking about. Let's see. Let's see. See, now that I'm looking for it, I ain't gonna be able to find it. See Shorty right there? She cheating. And ain't no need of even trying to talk to no girl that's shaped like this. She cheating. Period. What should warn you is the bright colored hair. The bright colored hair, the turnaround to show the booty, the boobs, where you can literally see the nipple piercings through the shirt. She cheating. You can't wife her. You can't wife her. Ain't no need of even trying. Ain't no need of even trying. You wasting your damn time. Because that chick right there is going to break your heart. She breaking hearts. Period. And then gonna look at you like that. That's the type of chick. That's the type of chick that you could catch her in the act of cheating. I mean, you could literally walk in on her cheating, and she'll look at you like, what I do? What's wrong? What happened? You was with another nigga. Oh, that's just my friend. You was naked. So you gonna be insecure now? That's what you dealing with. That's what you dealing with. Shout out to King Cato. He said, problem is good ones standing too close to the hoes. Yeah. Yeah. We don't live in the Aaliyah era anymore. See, for you younger dudes, let me put you on the game. Before social media, which has ridiculously boosted the egos of these women. Before social media, You could meet a bad chick, and that chick, if she liked you, would be loyal, faithful, and wouldn't, bro. You know how many times in the 90s, the worst thing for us brothers in the 90s is when we saw a bad chick and we chase the chick down. Like you see the chick in the mall or you see her somewhere, you chase her down. Yo, what's your name? She'll tell you her name. She wasn't rude. She wasn't like, ew, get away from me. She'll tell you her name. He'd be like, yo, you got a man? And she'd be like, yeah, I got a man. He'd be like, word. Be like, yo, do we treat you right? And she'd be like, yep. You'd be like, yo, you can't have no friends? Nope. They used to be loyal. They used to be loyal. And them being pretty was not an indication of them not being loyal. But nowadays, social media has given them too many options. Shout out to King Cato said, you probably don't remember, but this why I said marriage might be off the table for a lot of us. Well, it depends. If you only chasing baddies, yeah. If you only chasing tens, yeah. If you only chasing tens, then marriage is definitely off the table. Now, if you looking for sevens, you got a better shot. If you looking for sevens, you got a better shot. If you looking for sevens, you got a better shot. But like I said, it's social media, bro. Social media has ruined women. Make no mistake about it. Social media has ruined women. Ruined them. All they got to do is put on their makeup, get their hair done, and come online and take a photo. And when they take that photo, they got hundreds of thousands of dudes liking the photo. Hundreds of, well, not hundreds of thousands, but thousands of dudes in their DMs. Thousands of dudes in their DMs. When you got that many, when you got that many dudes in your DMs, not only do you think you're the shit, let me put it to you like this. Nowadays, a good-looking woman, social media has created an environment where a good-looking woman is the equivalent of a basketball phenom straight out of high school. Everybody's trying to recruit them. And just like that basketball phenom straight out of high school, he thinks it's never going to end. He thinks he's always going to be, look, nowadays, a beautiful woman in her early 20s, due to social media, is like LeBron James coming out of high school. But what the women don't realize is that eventually they end up where LeBron James is right now. The way LeBron James runs around now, expecting the world to treat him the same way they did when he first came out of high school. That's how these women are once they hit the wall. That's how these women are once they get in their late, in their 30s and in their early 40s and shit. And they crash out. Shout out to Do Something Different. It said, I helped a few B-dubs with things I can't even remember now. And a couple of them bought me plates of food. It was different back then. Happy birthday, AM. Much love to you always, broski. Appreciate you. And then on top of that, here in America, another thing that contributes to it is the men are too damn thirsty. This is why, if you really want to be honest, the Passport Bros got the best winning combination. They got the best strategy. Because if you go to a country if you go to a Latin country, the men don't care about how beautiful those women are. Because it's common. You feel me? You go to a Latin country with Latin women, them being beautiful is common. So you go to a Latin country, number one, it's not like America, so you're not dealing with no high obesity rate. You got slim women, pretty faces, long hair. Their beauty is common, and the men treat them like that. So they're more humble than the women here in America. So the Passport Bros, they got a better shot of finding a beautiful woman that can be loyal. The only downside is if they bring that woman here to America, the American culture is going to rub off on her and she's going to turn into one of the women. She's going to turn into one of these American women. That's the only thing about it. So if you go to a Latin country and you get a beautiful Latina and then you bring her here to America, her whole mentality is going to change within six months to a year. That's the only downside to it. Just trying to find another photo, but y'all get the point. But anyway, I've been on here long enough. Running my mouth. Shout out to everybody that came through. I appreciate y'all for coming through, showing love. Let's see. The Daz did that, said, "Oh, another live of a black man dissing black people. Great job. That's my point, dork." Bro, first of all, don't nobody care about your opinion with your broke ass. The fact that you even using the term dork says everything. You one of them niggas that probably peaked in high school. You probably was the man in your little bullshit ass high school, and you still think you one of them Negroes that think that your popularity in high school translates after high school. You broke and you a bum. Okay? Let me go ahead and boot you up out of here. And here we go with another one. Bye. Yeah, Atomic Dog Style. You can't tell black folks the truth. They immediately get butthurt. Immediately get in their feelings. Immediately get in their fifis. One thing you cannot do is you cannot tell black folks the damn truth. Another black man talking about black people. Great job. Crybaby ass. But anyway, going back to what I was saying, man. Shout out to everybody that came through. I appreciate y'all for showing love. Make sure you go check out my book, The Angryman Standard, which is available on Amazon. All you got to do is type The Angryman Standard in the search bar and it will come up. Also, if you want to check out the merchandise, all you have to do is go to shop.BINONation.com. Again, that's shop.BINONation.com, or you can click the link on the screen. But other than that, man, salute to everybody. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Deuces.